Hi, it's Chang. I don't have a particular title for today's message, and I thought this to make this just a free flow, and I can do that because this channel is still pretty early, and no one's really watching, so I don't really uh, need to worry about how this is gonna resonate long term. But at the same time, I don't really care. I don't need to prove myself anymore, and I can make this a well, as I said in one of the previous videos. The reason why I came back after the first, I don't know, 50 videos, uh, my attempt at daily uploads, is that I want to. I feel like I'm at an inflection point. My breakthrough is just around the corner, and I want to document this. And many people who blow up, who end up being blown up, some of the common things they say is they regret not having documented their early years or their unfamous days, so to speak, enough, right? So now, what I want this channel ultimately to be is, as I am using some of the other channels on YouTube, is I want this to be an alternative media, not in the sense that I'm a newscaster or something, but just an inlet for you of energy, outlet for me of my voice and my frequency and energy. But I figured we all get bored if we don't have enough stimulus. And although there are, I mean, how do I explain this? I want my so many. I found that so many channels on YouTube can be like seawater when you're thirsty for stimulus. Okay, it just doesn't quench your thirst. It leaves you more dry, or it leaves you more thirsty in the end. For they say it's dopamine addiction, but I don't really like the term, and I don't think going monk mode, as some influencers out there would say, I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is the quality of the stimulus. And I feel like I have gotten to a point where I am clean enough because I've taken care of the inputs into my system, not just contents on YouTube, but also food and other stuff, my environment and people, relationships, friendships, all that. So I want, first of all, to be your virtual friend, where you don't feel like there are people out there who get you, who get your essence, because that's one way I've felt my entire life. And nowadays, in my mid 30s, I've made peace with that, because I realized I wasn't meant to be normal, average, mainstream. Although eventually I may become mainstream. Um, I've come to terms with the fact that I was born different. And everyone really is born different. And I think it's just a degree of how well you're shaped to be average. And for me, because I don't know, my parents were terrible. I grew to be wanting to be independent, wanting to be myself. Because it was very hard to succumb to my parents' will and feel good. And so, as I have said multiple times throughout this channel, the key to everything is to just to be yourself. But at the same time, it can sound irresponsible on the part of the one who's saying that. I mean, how do you do that? How do you just be yourself? And many people, when they start on this journey of being themselves, they might find, or they will find, everything falling apart. And they will start to inevitably question, is it real? Is this the right way to just be myself? I followed this advice to be myself, and things are not working. And for me, the story, I've been living that story for almost 6 years now. And on paper, according to a certain perspective, things are getting actually worse. But I know I'm about to just pop off into the stratosphere, because the way I'm feeling internally is fundamentally different. And it is hard to describe, because you can only experience it to understand it. But this is what I want for everyone out there. A quality of feeling that is fundamentally different inside. Because I feel like that's what we are here for. That's why we as souls come down to this human body to experience. I mean, why would a soul, knowing the lightness and love that exists in the non-physical realm, choose to come down just to suffer endlessly in the name of surviving to keep this physical body going, when the soul knows life is eternal? Soul is never born, never die. Well, technically, I don't want to be splitting hairs, but the gist of it, yeah. So the yearning, I found that life, the feeling of there's something more to life, it's not just about the things, mostly physical things, to be found out there in the world, but mostly about the pieces of yourself that you rediscover and reclaim as you go through life, encountering with those different stuff out there. So it's not just about an internal journey. That's what many traditions, like Buddhist, like Indian traditions that does yoga, a lot of them miss, which is what they miss is they think leaving the marketplace, leaving the hustle and bustle of human life is the answer. I think that's mistaken. That's missing the point. There is something that can only be discovered through the process of living. And that is the beauty of this, the setup of this human life. The soul taking on a human body, experiencing a separation. Wife is calling.
뭐 하고 있어?
뭐 하고 있어.
알았어.
안녕. Okay, got interrupted. But yeah, I don't want to keep this too long, but I quite liked what came through. And the message I think was profound. And I really like just being relaxed, showing up without any expectations, without any fixed format. And this is, well, another process of finding my, I would say not finding, but refining my voice, building on what I talked about yesterday. And finding one's voice, that video was only, I think, like less than, it was about 3 minutes, and has got 0 views so far, so that may be a sign for me to not go too short and just be free flowing like this. I think but 10 minutes, 15 minutes is a good length for me to be fresh, show up fresh every day, and still be excited about delivering these messages, channeling, if you will. But you know, I don't I don't want to be too weird, you know. I know I'm weird, and I'm just myself, and that's just the more yourself you are, the weirder you are. But at the same time, I'm just human. I'm just human. I'm although I have, you know, I can channel. You know, I'm a shaman, and I read energies and stuff, whatnot. But I think that the problem is those things sound like it's too out there, and it's not available for everyone. But I want to make the spiritual stuff really accessible to everyday folks. And it's not really, as I said, it's not about retreating from this world, and that actually just that will make things worse. It's just it's something like what's the expression? pretending the problems doesn't exist doesn't make them go away. So anyways, that's what I want to be for you. And although I may not have been really, like, you know, straightforward and coherent in my delivery, these messages are always meant to be multidimensional. I'm a multidimensional being, as are you. So that's it for today's message, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.